Sail by AWOLNATION was released in 2010 as a part of the Metholithic Symphony album and joined the Just Dance mythos in 2023's Just Dance 2024 edition. It has a difficulty rating of medium and effort rating of moderate, 2 gold moves, the pictogram color is dark cyan, the glove color is dark moderate magenta, the lyric color is strong magenta, and it has 210 pictograms. The song was originally available on Just Dance Plus for free from June 12, 2023 to June 21, 2023, but is now only available if you purchase the Just Dance 2024 edition song pack. Sail is specifically mentioned in the ESRB rating summary of Just Dance 2024 edition. You can probably guess why. After Sayonara, Sail is the second map in Just Dance history to have a cutscene in first-person perspective. Now let's move on to the song itself. I gotta say, why did they not censor kill in this song? So what, is homicide not okay, but suicide is? I just find it weird that the word kill within the same game is allowed to exist in one context but not the other, especially since they're both referring to the same thing just happening to a different person. That's probably the biggest thing I can say about the song itself. But another thing, it is a very 2010 song. Like, ADD isn't even ADD anymore, it's all ADHD now. So even before I learned that this song was from 2010, I knew that it had to be at least a little bit old, you know? Other than that, I'm not really into this genre of music specifically. I don't have anything against it. If you like it, that's perfectly valid. And I can see why it would appeal to some people. It just doesn't appeal to me. But I am glad a song like this was included in Just Dance 2024 edition. We need more songs like this that take a little bit of a risk. I think the same thing of Numb from Just Dance 2023 edition. Like, who would have thought that a Linkin Park song would ever be in Just Dance? And now we have Sail. I hope Just Dance 2025 edition does something similar to this. I am all for creativity when it comes to song choices on top of the actual maps themselves, because being able to predict what song is going to be in the next Just Dance game just based on the Billboard Top 100 or whatever, you know, the charts, is kind of boring. I want more surprises like this. And that's not to say that Sail wasn't like world famous or something, but you would have expected this back in like Just Dance 3 or something, you know? Considering Just Dance 3 came out in 2011, the year after this. They like to mix it up, keep us on our toes. Now let's move on to the background of the map. The routine begins with a first-person view from Captain Crimson seemingly waking up and looking at his hands. He gets up and the choreography begins. Teal light strobes from above the deck with rain pouring in. In the middle of and at the end of the first verse, the ship rocks side to side, causing water to splash on each side of the room. At the second verse, Captain Crispin is seen on the main deck of the ship. Every few seconds, lightning flashes and large waves hit against the ship. The ship also rocks side to side, just like in the first verse. Between the second chorus and the bridge, the ship begins catching fire. Once the bridge begins, the coach is completely surrounded by a circle of flames. After the bridge, Captain Crimson is now standing on a small wooden raft heading away from the ship, which is now completely covered in fire. Occasionally explosions happen as well. The sky is now completely filled with smoke. After the song's outro, the camera pans away from the coach and begins to zoom towards the ship when the routine ends. I am not an expert on fire, so please forgive me if I'm about to say something wrong, but how do you catch fire and remain on fire when it's currently raining very heavily? I can assume that the fire started from the lightning, but that's still a wood fire, and wood fire with that much of a thunderstorm would probably need a lot of multiple successive hits of lightning to stay alive. Sure, you could say Captain Crimson has a lot of liquor and rum on the ship, which is a flammable substance, at least to my knowledge, so maybe that could have kept the fire going, but I feel like there's still probably more that he could have done if he didn't want the fire to spread. If I didn't know any better, I would say this is an insurance scam to get money on that ship because he's retiring from being a ship captain. Also, he has like no crew on the ship, and while I'm not an expert on ships either, I'm pretty sure you need more than one person to actually handle one, especially if you're a pirate. Well, was he that bad of a leader that he lost all of his crew? That really sucks. The water looks really nice too. I feel like just a few years ago, you could have convinced me that that was real water splashing around in the studio, although obviously that's not true. I think James Cameron has some real competition for who has the best water effects. This background is fantastic. I'm gonna give it a yeah. This is really the kind of background that Just Dance should be having in the modern day. Now let's move on to the appearance of the coach. The coach is Captain Crimson, formerly known as P2 of Jumpin' the Line. He has long, wavy crimson brown hair and matching facial hair. He sports a black eye patch over his right eye. He wears a ragged shirt beneath a dark beige long-sleeved garment with V-shaped cleavage, and a teal blue distressed vest marked by gray stains. He also wears a bandolier over his right shoulder and 2 belts featuring silver buckles wrapped around his waist. Ropes are bound to his forearms. He also wears blue buccaneer pants with dirt marks and brown leather boots. At the end of the routine, Captain Crimson dons a blue tribune so that he can be sad while he sails away. Okay, so right off the bat, this looks like a step above a Spirit Halloween costume. That's not to say it looks bad. I mean, I've seen some pretty good Spirit Halloween costumes. And the outfit being all rugged and dirty does show a lot of experience. Those cuts in the fabric just don't appear. And I love that they actually don't oversaturate them. I've never seen anybody complain about the saturation of the average Just Dance coach, but I will say that the saturation does make them lose a lot of detail, which in part is probably the point. So I'm glad that for the sake of detail, they didn't saturate him so much. Him being P2 of Jumpin' the Line felt like it was just meant to be a conversation piece instead of being actually relevant to any actual story. I know that they're trying to give as many Just Dance maps lore these days, but I feel like they should stick to one big story instead of a medium story and then a ton of little stories. Make the medium story the main story and make it a lot bigger. How funny would it be if all they did was just take the original outfit from Jumpin' the Line and, update it a little bit? That'd be very funny. But still, I can't give it more than a good. And finally, let's move on to the gold move. There are two in this routine. In the first gold move, while kneeling on the ground, spread your arms outward to your sides. And in the second gold move, you jump up while raising your right hand. Any gold move that requires kneeling is really hard for me, not because I have knee problems, but because I'm starting to have knee problems, or at least that's what it feels like. The second one seems like it's shoehorned in there to be the gold move because they need a gold move to end the song these days. That really sucks, but they're both perfectly climactic, so I'm gonna give them both a super. Overall, Sale gets a super. Do you have any suggestions? Leave them down below, and adios.